Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to welcome you to today's session on harnessing international opportunities. And I'm super excited about today's session, not just because it's all about harnessing international opportunities, because I have someone fantastic as the guest, and her name is Simi Koye-ladele. She's someone that I actually look up to, she's like a senior colleague, and I look up to her. And one thing that amazed me about Simi is that anytime she puts her mind to something, she's always smashing the goal. And of course, when you smash a goal, what do? You look for another goal, you set up another goal, and then you smash it, and then you keep on moving. So that's what Simi is all about. She's all about smashing goals. So today we're going to be talking about harnessing international opportunities, and it just popped up in my mind like a few days ago when I was applying for something, and then it was all about domesticating international ideas into our country, Nigeria. We know that the whole world is a global village now. Everybody, they're interacting with one another. You don't even have to be in the UK to know what is applicable there, because we have the internet, right? And you don't even have to, work in Goldman Sachs in UK before you can, harness international opportunities. We have some other, opportunities in Nigeria. There are some companies that are global and they're in Nigeria. So those are also international opportunities that we're going to be talking about. So talking about the Deloitte, the PwC, there are also global brands that are in Nigeria that you can also access. So that's the whole idea. Taking international ideas and domesticating it into our country to make our country a better place, because that's the whole idea, trying to leave our country better than how we found it. So that's the whole idea of harnessing international opportunities. And I would just quickly talk about Simi. Give me 1 second. So Simi is a senior analyst with Goldman Sachs and a founder of Academic and Post-Tertiary Excellence, an organization that equips undergraduates and fresh graduates with the skill it takes to land the best opportunities in the 21st century market. That is impressive. She's the Vice President of Youth Alive Development, an NGO through which she touches life. She's passionate about transformation, and through speaking, writing, mentoring, and coaching, she seeks to ensure through contact with her or her materials that the lives of people move from where they currently are to where they deserve to be. That's the whole idea, transforming the country from where it is to making it a better place, right? Thank you so much, Simi, for joining us. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for this invite. I really, really celebrate what you're doing, Funke. I am so proud of you. And I know that this is going to grow to becoming very, very huge. So thank you for the privilege to be here. And I'm so excited to meet everybody. I'm hoping that today we are going to have a beautiful time. I'm going to be talking for some minutes. And I think more important than even the talking session is the question and answer session. So I can really dig deep into what is on your heart and provide answers to the questions that you have. So thank you very much, Funke, for having me.
Thank you. If you're joining us, you can just put in your name, your job role, and the location where you're listening from, so we can know the set of people that we're talking to. For Simi, of course, she's talking from London, the United Kingdom. While I am Funke Ajayi, the host, and I'm talking from Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah. So, of course, and one thing I know about Simi is that she's repping Nigeria everywhere she goes, which is so good. Okay, so please don't forget, put in your name, what you're doing, and your location in the comment section. Thank you. So, I talked about Simi a few minutes ago, so I'll be giving her the floor to talk about harnessing international opportunities, how we can position ourselves. So for the next 15-20 minutes, she's going to be talking about it while we get ready for the questions. Amazing questions. Simi, there's even a question that I saw that is specific for Goldman Sachs.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yes. So we have almost like 15 questions that you're going to take us through. So you have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Funke. Once again, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ayodeji, Christiana, Jesu Kwemi, and the many other people that will be listening to this after this recording and joining us later. As Funke has said, my name is Mosimilolua. Now, two categories of people call me Mosimilolua. One is my dad, because he named me Mosimilolua. So he has to go through this stress everybody goes through in calling me. And then second is usually a guy that is interested in me. So if a guy calls me Mosimilolua once, twice, three times, I'm almost like, can you just go straight to the point? So I'm so happy to be here. And I'm going to be talking about this very interesting topic. And I really want you to concentrate because it's going to be an absolutely beautiful time together. Harnessing international opportunities.
Sorry, please, everybody get your pen and paper. Jot.
Yeah. Harness. What does it mean to harness, right? What does it mean to harness something? You know, when you talk about harnessing something, it means, sort of taking advantage of something, sort of grabbing something, going for something, how do you go for it? How do you make it yours, basically? And before I really go into this topic, I would like to define international opportunities in two ways. Right? Or let me define it in three ways, actually. So the first is, an international opportunity due to geography. So it is not in maybe your local country. So an opportunity in Ghana, for example, or an opportunity in Senegal, is an international opportunity because it crosses the boundaries of nations, right? An opportunity in Europe, in the US, in parts of, Asia, if you get a job in China, with Alibaba, that's an international opportunity because of the geography. So that's number one. The second is multinational, international opportunities in a local area. So that's where you have the multinationals. So the likes, just like Funke was saying at the introduction, the likes of Total, Procter & Gamble, Chevron, Shell, PwC, Deloitte, they are global brands that have, a presence in different countries. So you might be working in Nigeria, but you're actually working in a firm that has an international brand, right? And sometimes these firms, if you know what you should know, actually have the opportunity to they have the the provision for people to travel from one place to another. I once know of a friend in Nigeria who was working in a local company in Nigeria but an international brand, and by virtue of his work, his positioning as well, he sort of had to go for assignments to other countries. So we go to, places like Switzerland. I know of a friend who is always in Kazakhstan. She works with, Schlumberger. You understand what I'm trying to say? So the company is in your country, but if you position yourself within the company very well, you grow your network, you're doing a good job, and hopefully your role provides the opportunity for, mobility in that sense, then you can actually start in your country, but end up in another country. So that's the second international opportunity. Now to the third one. This one has nothing to do with geography, has nothing to do with, being a multinational. It's just really an opportunity that allows you to have global impact. So it is international because of what you can do with it. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because I don't want people to think that if I don't find a job in China or if I don't work in a multinational, then I don't have a job yet. No, you have a job. It's a local job. But if you are able to extend your reach to other countries, so you are in Nigeria, but you're able to help people in Ghana by virtue of maybe your job or by virtue of maybe you have a social impact project, like what Funke is doing right now, right? She's working in Nigeria, but Career Guild is going to grow so big that even people that are not Nigerians will benefit from what she's doing. And so I would say, I'll consider that to be a social impact work that is giving her opportunity to touch people internationally. So I don't want you to limit your idea or your definition of something international to just geography, which is the most likely thing that people do. Now, having said that, there are three secrets I'm going to be revealing to you today, and I really want you to concentrate. I want you to think about these things, and I want you to follow me as we go. So let's dive right in. The first secret in harnessing an international opportunity is the power of a resolute desire. The power of a resolute desire. And what is a resolute desire? A resolute desire is you saying that this is what I want. This is what I desire. You need to want it enough. Because international opportunities are not everyday opportunities, right? They are not opportunities that you just sort of pick on the road. Now, the way they can happen, you can hear of it, in the funniest of ways, which is how I really got my job. Somebody literally reached out to me and said that the application was going on, and I actually registered on the final day. I applied on the final day, right? So you can stumble into it that way. But I'm saying that for you to be qualified to harness, we're not just saying hearing about international opportunities. We're saying, how do you harness it? For you to harness that opportunity, you must want it enough. You must want it well enough. I remember when I was applying for my job, literally, I spent almost 24 hours, not up to that, but I remember that I started applying, and because it was the final day and I wanted to submit a strong application, I sat down with my CV, sat down with my cover letter, went over it again and again, and I just ensured that I wasn't turning out the minimum I could turn out. And that's one thing. There's someone on this call that is probably thinking of applying for an international opportunity. It's usually very competitive, and the best thing you can do to represent yourself very well is by ensuring that whatever application you are turning in is really the highest quality, right? Don't be okay with something average. Don't be okay with something that is just merely good. Merely good will not get you anywhere. It has to be very, very strong. And they have to see that, okay, this person understands and really wants it well enough. So the power of a resolute desire. And when you have a resolute desire, there are questions that, you begin to ask yourself as a result of that. Questions like, which career path do I actually want to pursue? Because really, I don't expect you to just be applying for random things. So there's this fashion house called Next. Take, for example, you're somebody who wants to go into technology, right? You're a software developer. That's what you want to do. But because you are just, you were just browsing on a certain day and you can see that Next, that is into fashion, they need a fashion designer, right? And you just go like, let me apply. You have no fashion. You understand? It's not your interest. You would have wasted your time because it's not what you want, basically. So you need to be able to sit down and say that, what career path do I want to pursue? Do I really want to keep going on into consulting, or do I want to go actually into product management? And I'll be very honest with you, sometimes, where you are in your life, you might not really have the full picture of what you want to do. There's some people that were born knowing what they want to do, and I really celebrate those people, but I wasn't one of those people. I think the journey of my life so far has been a lot exploratory. So me discovering myself, discovering my interest, discovering an opportunity, and then you understand. So, and that is the way to be for a lot of us. So you need to be able, despite the fact that you might not have the full picture, you need to be able to say that, okay, what career path do I want to pursue? You understand? What am I interested in? So it's a very important question that you have to settle so that you are not running 100 miles in the wrong direction, right? So that you are doing the right things and taking the right steps that is in alignment with what your interests are. So number one, which career path do I want to pursue under the power of resolute desire? Now, the second point under the power of a resolute desire is which industry or sector. So we've talked about career path, first of all. Now, this one is you now drilling deep, right? It's more of, okay, if I want to go into consulting, do I want to go into, management consulting? Or do I want to go into human development, capacity management consulting, right? And I'm not saying that, again, I would say, I'm not expecting you to have everything figured out, but I'm saying that these are the things you need to begin to think of. Even if you don't have definite answers, I think it was Fela Adrotoye that was on saying that it's sometimes okay for you not to know what you want to do, but just make sure you know what you don't want to do. So, because when you start drilling, you just say, you know what, I don't want to do anything tax related. I don't want to do anything auditing related. Let me just focus on human capital development because this is what I'm interested in, right? So, industrial sector, do I want to go into agriculture? Figure those things out. If I want to go into agriculture, is the United States really the best place for me to do a master's? Or should I just go to somewhere in Europe? Or should I actually stay in Nigeria and get this master's in, in the University of Agriculture? These things just put things in perspective for you. So I would say that it's important for you to know the industrial sector you're interested in. Then another thing you need to know, still under the power of a resolute desire, is what experiences do you really desire, right? What experiences do you desire? And what that means is that I'm not even talking about work experience. Now I'm talking about what personal experience do you desire? If you want to pursue an international opportunity, what are you open you will experience by virtue of pursuing that opportunity, right? For me, when I was picking up my job, when I was saying yes to my offer, one of the things that mattered for me was, having a global exposure. I wanted to have global exposure. I wanted to understand the way, people think about things in the developed, economies of the world. I wanted to know what we're not doing right in Nigeria by knowing what they do right in another country. Do you understand? So that was what, it was for me. So, when you are able to think about these things, it always starts from your desire. If you don't want it enough, we can as well just finish the meeting now and let's just go and sleep. Because you need to want it enough. Because by virtue of us being Nigerians and all of that, there's inertia that we naturally have to fight against. Right? Some people are not on this call, not because they don't want to be on this call, but because their data has finished, or because, there's no light. Their devices are drained and dead. There are these things, these structural things in Nigeria that can hold us down, such that if you really want something international, something really, you need to break off them. And you need to want it enough to be able to say, no, yes, there's no light, but I need to be on this Zoom meeting. So what do I need to do? I need to charge my laptop. I need to charge my phone. I need to get data. I need to prepare myself. There's this application that is closing in 2 weeks. What do I need? I need a referee from my dean in the university. Who can I contact? You need to want it enough, right? Nigeria is not, we don't have an enabling environment yet. We hope that will be the case in the future. But based on where we are right now, you need to want it enough because you will need to work for it, right? So that's the power of a resolute desire. If you are with me, you can hear me, you're understanding me, what I'm saying is making sense to you, please go to the chat and just say, I hear you, Simi. I just need your feedback. I hear you. I understand you. I can hear what you're saying. So I'll wait for the feedback just before I go ahead, so I can be sure. Okay, Funke hears me.
Then Christiana Laho.
Yeah, Jesupemi says, I hear you. Okay, let's just get one more person and we can move on. I hope other people can hear me.
Christiana.
Okay, Ayodeji, I got one more. Okay, Eunice too. I got one more. Fantastic, thank you. So yeah. So please, I will need you to be active. Like I will need feedback from you so I can be sure. It's a virtual world and most people their videos are off. So for me to be sure that you are connecting with me and I can hear you, you can hear me, please, I will need your feedback. Cool. So number one, the power of a resolute desire. What this is saying is a secret for you to get that opportunity that you want is you must want it enough because you will have to work for it. The second is the power of asking the right questions and following through on the answers you get. The power of asking the right questions and following through on the answers you get. And what does this mean? Right? You say, okay, I want to do a master's in business administration. So I want to do an MBA because I want to take a shift from engineering to actually working in consulting, right? So an MBA would sort of expose me to the world of business, and as an engineer, you've been all science. So when you do an MBA, you sort of have knowledge of, things that are more business facing, and you upskill yourself in that area. And that can help you, not in all cases, but it can help you to make a shift. This is just a sample case. So I'm not saying this is standard or happens to everybody. Now, the next question, and that's what I'm talking about in this point, is you ask yourself, how do I get here? Basically, how do I get this master's that I want? Or if your international opportunities, you want to start working in finance in a Bank of America in the United States, how do I get here? The how question is a very important question, right? How do I get here? And, one of the things I said I was going to mention is that, because of everything that has happened in 2020, a lot of companies have become very self-critical and they are saying that, we need diversity. We can be more diverse. We can actually do more in diversity. And that means that this is a very good opportunity for you as a diverse professional, to actually watch out and be on the lookout for these opportunities. Right? The window is literally open. These companies are looking. In fact, I won't even start telling you the stories of how badly we need Black people. honestly. And, the opportunities are there. The thing is, people are not aware. But when you start asking the question of how do I get here, you start getting the right information that you need. So take, for example, if Bukola, who is on this call, wants to begin to work, in, say, McKinsey, in say, the US, for example. I don't even know if they have McKinsey in the US, but I expect them to have. But if that's what she wants to do, I expect her to say, okay, how can I get here? What are the ways I can get here? Do they have an African recruitment initiative? Do they have, do they have a way or a window when they come to African countries to recruit? If not, okay, what can I do? If I do my master's in the US, can I apply for this job from the US? Or if I do my master's in the UK, before the end of my master's, people start applying, can I apply? You need to look at your network as well. Who has done what you want to do? Who has done it before? You have a friend, Funke has me. If Funke is interested, it's a matter of asking me, I'm interested in this. What do I need to do? And literally, that is how I got my job, right? I had a friend who was working with a sister company. So I heard she was working in London. I was like, working in London, okay, this is good. So I reached out to her. I said, babe, me too, I want to work in London, please. I want you to, I'm interested in this. She was like, okay. If anything comes up, I'll let you know. She was the one that was looking for me up and down to say that, see, the application is open. But the reason she can actually think of me, or she could think of me, was because I had had the conversation with her. So if there's somebody in your life who is already doing what you want to do, or working in a place where you want to work, and has an opportunity that you desire, then you should, sort of ask them questions, right? Ask them questions. Okay, so, and the truth is that you have more leverage to ask people deep questions when you have built a relationship with them. If you ping me, there was somebody that messaged me on Facebook, are you still with Goldman? I know answer. Because I don't know you from anywhere. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know you from anywhere. I think you even said, I want to do some demo. You want to do demo for Goldman and you are pinging me on Facebook. You're not ready. You understand what I'm trying to say? So just as a buy point here, build relationships with people. Don't be somebody who is just a needy person. And the only time you reach out to people is when you need their favor or when you need information from them. Groom your relationships. Christmas is coming. Buy gifts for people. You know that in January, you want to ask them questions that are deep. But Christmas, don't just jump on them with your question. Ask about their well-being. How has it been for you in the UK? How is it with the whole election thingy in the US? Hope you are well. Check in, build relationships. And, when you have invested in that relationship, you can now get to the stage of, there's a question I have. I've been looking at relocating to the US and I was just wondering, or relocating to Canada. I was just wondering what sort of, opportunities are available? What are the things I need to pay attention to? You understand what I'm trying to say? So there's a way to go about it. So under this point, asking the right questions, right? So do you want to get this international opportunity through, further education, through a master's, or do you want to leverage on companies' diversity initiative, or do you want to leverage your existing global job? If you're on this call and you work with, the KPMGs, PwCs of life, do you want to leverage that to get your international exposure, right? Is it a matter of just talking to your manager or your manager's manager and letting them know that you're interested in an opportunity or in a project that will probably take you beyond the shores, outside the shores of Nigeria? Does that make sense to you? So one of the ways by which you can, get these international opportunities and harness it is, by asking the right questions. Then, I've talked about the how do I get here question, meaning how can I get to where I want to get to? The next question under the same point, asking the right questions, is how do they recruit? So important. How do they actually recruit? And when I say how do they recruit, I would say, what's their recruitment calendar? Do they do it during spring? Is it something they just do between September and November? Right? Is it that they need a master's, the minimum qualification of a master's before you apply? Is it that, the application has to go in through this system? Or is it that there's an internal referral system where a staff that works in the organization can actually refer you? You understand what I'm trying to say? You need to be, just expand the way you're thinking about it. And it all comes back to number one. For you to be asking all of these questions, you must actually really want it enough. Is when you want something enough that you take steps towards getting it, right? So what do they typically watch out for? Are they looking for somebody who has, I know a friend, the way he landed in Canada was that he studied civil engineering and then he interned with this company called Arup. You know, it's a very popular company that people in civil know about. And he just, when he worked in this company, noticed that, you know, they were carrying out a particular research in a particular area, right? And, you know, I don't know the rest of the story, but literally, Arup sponsored his masters to Canada. You understand what I'm trying to say? So there are ways in which you can also do that, to say that, okay, how can I get to where I'm going to from where I am? So yeah, how do they recruit? So that's going to be the second question under the power of asking the right questions. Now, the more important part is following through on the answers. It is not even asking the right questions alone, because anybody can ask questions. But are you following through on what they have told you? Okay, they have told you that you will need the minimum of maybe a master's. Go and get your master's if that place is really your dream company to work. Or they have told you that, oh, they recruit typically between September and November. So submit your for your application. You will need 4 passports. You will need, you know, you uploading a copy of this, that, your transcript. You know, if you know that already, you will not now say that IFE does not give us our transcript until after 5 months. Honestly, you won't say that, because you're like, okay, so what can I do to quickly ensure that I have everything that I need to apply for this job? You understand? So I think this point comes to being an active participant in your own life. Some people are passive participants in their lives. Life is just happening to them. There's no active role they are playing. Life is happening to them. Literally, even the job they have is because they have an uncle that say, you know, come into my company, and that is it. And that's not bad. But I'm just saying that if you want an international opportunity, you have to be active. You have to actively search for it. You have to actively ask the right questions. You have to actively follow through on the answers. I keep saying it. An undated plan is a joke. Is a joker. If you have not dated your plan to say that, okay, come Monday, I'm going to, you know, IFE to get my transcript. Come Tuesday, I'm going to ensure that I have all the documents that I need to apply ready. Come Wednesday, I'm going to, you understand? You plan for these things. You be an active participant in your own life. You know, I keep saying this in the you know, speaking engagements I go for. See, nobody, you are the one absolutely responsible for the outcomes in your life. If federal government is not responsible, the vice chancellor of your university is not responsible. The Ministry of Law and Employment, Labor and Employment is not responsible. In fact, let me shock you. Your parents are not responsible. You are the one absolutely responsible for the outcomes in your life. You are the one absolutely responsible for the outcomes in your life. It is in your hands. It is not in anybody's hands. It is in your hands. What you make out of your life is your responsibility. So if you know that there's something you want, then it is your responsibility to go for it. People are only a resource. They are only there to help you if they choose to help you. They are only there to help you. And you are the one who has to be able to say that, okay, how can I, you know, position myself in such a way that when I ask this person for help, they'll be more than willing to help me. If that makes sense to you. You hear me, you are getting me, you're understanding me. Please let me know in your chat, in the chat, just put it there. I hear you. And then we'll go to the last point before we now begin to round things up and go into the Q&A session. So just put in the chat, I can hear you. Yeah, I can see Bukola, I can see Funke, I can see Titilayo. Cool, fantastic. Okay, so I think we can move on to the next point. And I suppose we have touched on it previously, the power in relationships. The power in relationships, right? See, you're as wealthy as the people that you know, honestly. The opportunity that you want, that you so want, Christiana, there are probably just 2 people between you and that opportunity. Honestly. That opportunity that you really desire so much, that international opportunity, which you have defined in 3 ways when we started. There are probably just, in fact, sometimes there's just 1 person between you and that opportunity. So it becomes of utmost importance for you to actually, you know people that can refer you. People don't maximize internal referrals well enough. I think it's one of the surest ways of getting a job. Now, I'm not saying now become a pest in somebody's inbox. You understand? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that if you have built a relationship with somebody, and just let me put a caveat, not all companies give internal referrals, right? So in case you are, thinking that not all companies do that. There's only few companies that do that. If I don't think Nigerian companies do that. So, and I don't think multinationals do that as well. I think they have a structured recruitment process, right? But, in some companies that allow internal referrals, it may just be one person that will say, Funke in HR, I know Funke. Let her apply for this role. She's good for this role and she will get the job. You understand? Because it was our opportunity. It was just waiting for the right person to connect us to that opportunity. Take your relationships very seriously. Don't be the person who you want to end a relationship. And I'm not talking about a romantic relationship, but you want to end a friendship and you're slamming the door on that friendship as a way to end it. As my mom tells me, she says that whenever you want to end a relationship, you close the door gently. Close the door gently for two reasons. Number one, you may need to open the door later, or the other person may need to open the door later. But if you have slammed it in the faces of each other, so very, very important. People can open the door for you. People can open the door for you. So begin to think about your network. Who are the people what relationships do you need to work? And I'm not saying despise some people, don't despise some people. No, I believe that you have the depth of insight to be able to balance what I'm saying, right? That person you despise today may end up being a great person tomorrow. So you don't want to do that. But I'm saying that let one of the things, habits, your culture from now going forward is to be a good relationship manager. I know this is for entry-level professionals, so that means that you are probably at one job or the other. See, the next opportunity for you may be connected to that opportunity through a colleague that is living where you work presently, going to another place. He gets to another place or she gets to another place. And they say, we need somebody. I say, I know me. I know her or I know him. Let's refer, let me, she's very good. And that's it. Me gets the offer that pays her twice what her previous job was paying her. Relationships are so key in life. So key in life. I can't overstretch this. So we've talked about 3 secrets. We've talked about the power of a resolute desire. You wanting it badly enough, right? You wanting it badly enough. When you want it badly enough, there's an attitude you will give to it. Even if your current job is very stressful, you know that your weekend, you cannot just use it to sleep and watch Netflix. You know that there's IELTS exam for you to read up for. You know that there are things for you to do. There's questions for you to ask about, immigration and things like that. There's even prayer for you to pray. So you won't just sit down and, just say, I'm tired from the week and that's it. And then we've talked about, the power of asking the right questions and following through on the answers. And thirdly, we have talked about the power in relationships. You are 1, 2, 3, or 4 people away from that opportunity that you desire. And those people are already in your life. They're already in your life, right? And they don't even have to be people you know very closely. It may just be a casual person that you know, but because you've been nice to the person, because you greet the person very well, because you stop to say hello, because you said happy birthday, right? The person is willing to give you help when you need it. So that has brought me to the end of our talk today. Let's go to the Q&A session, and hopefully I'll be able to answer questions that arise from there.
Wow, thank you so much, Simi. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming around and all your insights. 1, 2, 3, fantastic. I'll start with number 3. I could remember there was a time you sent me an opportunity that has to do with human resource. And I think we've not had any meaningful conversation for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the message, I was like, oh, Simi is mindful of me.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's part of, relationship that Noah was talking about. Indeed. Also, you talked about the power of a resolute desire. If you want something, you have to go for it. And that has to do with asking the right questions. I could remember that there was an application that I missed last year, and it was because I didn't ask the right questions. So I was majoring on the minor.
Right.
And then on the long run, I just was after the application, I then realized that, oh my God, you're actually majoring on the minor. If you had asked the right questions, probably I'd have gone in for the opportunity, asking the right question and also following through.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Simi.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming around. Okay, so going down to the Q&A session, the first thing I have here is, in preparing for opportunities, what are the steps I must take? And I think you've already talked about that.
Yeah.
And then another question is, in the midst of competition, you know how many graduates that leave school every year? How can I harness a particular opportunity? So just imagine me, I'm fresh out of school. I studied accounting and then I graduated only in my department. So I graduated with like 200 of my colleagues, only in my university, not now talking of other universities. So how can I enter Deloitte? I'm just finishing school. Or how can I even enter a small accounting firm in Lagos? Because trust me, small accounting firms now, their requirements, when you see their requirements, you'll be like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. So in all of this competition, how do you think one can, get a foot in a company?
That's a really brilliant question. So in the middle of competition, how do you stand out? I will go back to the things that we've talked about. We've talked about you asking the right questions. See, the person that will stand out is the person who is outstanding. That's it. It's the person that majors on the major. It's the person that knows exactly what they need, right? So these companies are calling for, applications. Number one, you want to ensure that your CV is fantabulous. CV that HR will look at and say that we need to invite this person for interview. And I know that there are times that AI, artificial intelligence, some sort of things are the ones processing the CVs. Exactly. So you want to ensure that your CV will, like the machine will say tick. You want to use the right words: led, participated, organized, things like that. Use those words, those action words, that depict what you have done. And you put statistics there: moved sales from this percent to this percent year on year. You're able to demonstrate in your CV that you're somebody that can get the job done. I did an interview at my workplace, some time ago, and you'll be surprised that, don't let me use that example because it's a work-related example, but generally speaking, you will just discover that some people will just submit bland CVs. A bland CV is a CV that is just bland. There's nothing more to that CV apart from the fact that it's just black ink on white paper. Don't let that be your CV. If you do that, you will not stand out. You just say, what did I not do right? What did I not do right? Right? Another thing is, cover letter, right? Because some of these companies ask you to submit maybe a statement of purpose or cover letter. You want to ensure that you know how to write a good cover letter. So if you have to take courses, and there's this course that I created called the Employable Graduate. So I know Funke will probably share, the link with us, and all of that. So because we talk about things like, writing a good cover letter, and things like that. So you want to know how to write a very good cover letter. You want to ensure that what you are writing is what they need. Take, for example, if the role is the role for a business analyst, but you are now writing like you're an accountant, there is no intersection, right? So you need to understand, what do they want for this job? What is the eligibility? What are the things they are looking for? Because most roles will describe what they want, right? And what they are looking for will be who meets this requirement, who meets exactly what we want. So you understand what I'm trying to say? You will realize that a lot of applications, the reason they will fall, by the wayside is because they were not strong enough. There was a grammatical or spelling error on your CV. Your cover letter was not strong enough, and the truth is those things speak for you in your absence. Usually for first level screening, you might not be there in person to, make a case for yourself. It will be your CV, cover letter, transcripts that will be speaking in your absence. Right. So I would say that make sure that your application is suited for the role and strong enough. If you are able to do that, then we can now talk into other things like interviews. How can you be, outstanding at an interview? Because that's another thing you have to do. No matter, you might get through the door for the interviews, but you can still mess up the interview. So that means you need to know how to do well in interviews. How do you make up a conversation? How do you sound intelligent? How do you even build interpersonal relationship? I remember going for a particular interview, and it was with two people, right? But do you know, at the end of the interview, they were, if it was like I became their sister. These are people that I met within 15, 20 minutes. But after we started talking, and then we smiled, and all of those things, and then we laughed, and then, it became a chat. Of course, they told HR fantabulous things about me. There was another interview I went for, after speaking with the hiring manager and all of that. He started sharing his personal work problem with me. So if you have a boss that is demanding, what will you do? And you have done everything you're supposed to do. I was like, me that I just want to work with your organization, already asking me, you understand? It got personal because I was able to establish trust. And this thing is a skill. If you don't have it now, you can actually develop it. But the way you will develop it is when you search for the knowledge that you need, right? So this is one of the ways by which they stand out because they're outstanding, because they put in the effort that makes them outstanding.
Wow. Thank you so much, Simi. Thank you. I could also, talking about sorting of CVs, I could remember where I currently work. When I just had, a conversation with the HR, like, okay, what is the particular thing that got me into this company? Because my friend was like, Funke, you just came in with, round neck and a jean and just a pair of two other ladies that wearing heels, doing makeup. And then after we had the conversation, I was like, okay, let me just ask the HR person, what actually made me get this job? And that was like, my CV, there was a particular word that made use of leadership. And they were one of their core values is the fact that they want people who can be co-founders. Like you can start something and complete it on your own with minimal supervision. That was what actually stood me out. Because I just have leadership. And where did I even get the leadership? Where did I get the opportunity, to lead? Was in my church. So on your CV, you can include your volunteer engagement. It's the way you package your CV. That's the way, that makes you stand out. So thank you so much for that, Simi. On to the next question. Does Goldman Sachs conduct an interview like McKinsey and GCH? So I think this one is really, really the person studied that work with Goldman Sachs. Let me ask this question.
So the way they do it, right, from the last time, because it changes every year. That's the first thing I should say. So, and I did my interviews like 4 years ago. So definitely things would have changed. But I know that for first stage is, what everybody does. And there's an Africa Recruitment Initiative. So where they detail it basically. So everybody sort of sends in cover letter, CV, and then they shortlist from there and then they decide. So it might be like a, what's it called? On-screen online interview, or it can be, like now because of coronavirus, I can imagine that everything, most of these interviews will be over Zoom. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I don't know what McKinsey and BCG does, but if it is physical interviews, yes, Goldman does physical interviews as well. And if it is virtual interviews, yes, because of COVID-19, I imagine that they would have evolved to using Zoom and all of that for their interviews. So the short answer is yes.
Okay, thank you for that, Simi. So I'll just quickly go to the next question. That is, what soft skills are vital now?
What soft skills?
Things are really changed. What soft skills are vital now?
Oh, yeah, sure. In fact, I feel like directing that to you because you are the HR. So you help us with that, Funke. I probably just had one or two.
Actually, this is your question now. Why do you have to play back at me? Like,
you are the one in HR. Yeah, you are the one in HR, really. And I had, okay, let me just start up and then you can complete for me. Okay, so I know the soft skills that our employers really are looking out for. Number one, they're looking for things like good communication skills. They want people that can communicate a vision or communicate on what they're doing. You can post updates, you can write basic, English or whatever language of communication that you use. So they want that. Number two, they want problem solving skills, right? I hate it when people come to me with a problem they have not thought about, right? You're coming to me, come to me to say that, Simi, this is the challenge I'm facing. These are my proposals on how we can solve this challenge. What do you think? I know you have invested some time to think into it, but when you're just always coming to me with problems, I don't know what to do. What should I do? What should I do? No, that's not how to do it this 21st century. So I want people with good problem solving skills. I want somebody who is intellectually curious, right? You are intellectually curious means that you want to know why. You want to know why. You want to know why, what is making an aeroplane fly. You want to know what is sound making the radio, sound. You want to know the reason why. You're not just okay with taking things, right? You challenge things, you question things, you look into things very deeply. And I think that the fourth one I'll talk about is analytical skills, right? How well are you able to analyze things? How well are you able to join things that are disconnected, right? How well are you able to sort of extract the main point out of something that looks scanty and make something out of it? So those are soft skills that are really vital. I'll let, if there's anyone Funke wants to add.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Similoluwa. Basically, those are general. Okay, I'll just talk about it in terms of competencies now. When you're talking about competencies, we have the general competencies, which you already talked about, communication, analytical skills, problem solving. Then there is another bit of technical skills, the ones that you would need on the job, like an accountant. Do you even know the basic accounting skills and methods used? As someone in sales now, doing the negotiation skills, you know how to negotiate. When you come and you tell me, oh, you're coming in as a salesperson, for goodness sake, the next thing I'm thinking is, can you negotiate? Can you bring in new clients? How many leads can you bring in? So aside from the general competencies that you need to do, which is good, talking about the technical skills that you would need for your job is also very important. As an HR person, am I emotionally intelligent to know when to support a staff, when to use the word, and when to use the staff on an employee? Those technical skills are very important. And of course, you know that this is the technological age. So most times when I'm talking to people, I say that whatever you're doing, think technology. So if I am in HR, funny thing was that I started thinking tech and HR since 2016. And I'm not even surprised that I work in an HR and tech firm. So anything you're doing, just think technology alongside. It doesn't mean you should learn how to code. It might just be the basic, skills about technology that would actually stand you out in the job that you're looking for. So aside from the general competencies, talk about your technical competencies that you need on the job, and also things like technology. Another thing I'll talk about is leadership competencies.
Oluwapalumi, do you mind going on mute, please?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, go ahead, Funke.
Okay, the last thing I'll talk about is the leadership competencies. So there was something Faladru say, 30 years ago, and it stuck with me, like, it's even still with me like forever. I said, when you are in a first level, before you be promoted to another level, you have to have the skills for that next level before you're able to get there. So you need to have the leadership skills. Yes, you might be in a meeting, of course, in Nigeria setting, whenever adults are talking, the young set of people need to keep quiet and listen attentively, just like what Simi said when we had the meeting earlier today. But today, you have to be confident. It's not like you would be jumping every time. But when you're talking, you talk from the knowledge, like you know what you're actually talking about. You've researched for what you're saying. Do you get so? And that's what people would see, and they know that this person actually stands out and deserves this position. I could remember when and my boss were just having a conversation. It was like, no, Funke, there were some certain things, but I had to stand in for you because I know what you are capable of doing. Do you get? You need to be able to sell yourself very well to a necessary set of people. Yeah, so basically that's what I'm going to talk about. So general competencies, technical competencies, and also leadership competencies to prepare you ahead for the other stage. Yeah, so basically.
So good.
Thank you. So to the next question. I think this is more of a master's in London.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm trying to get the question. Okay, how to gain scholarship for MSc in London? This is actually funny, but let me just ask,
Yeah, no, it's not bad. So the person can actually start by Googling, because there are actually some scholarship opportunities for Africans, really. Yeah. So just Google it, and then from there you would get the information that you need. So that's what I would suggest. Then sometimes when you go to the website of the school you're interested in, right, there's a scholarship, or what do they call it? Financial aid section, where they can actually put scholarships that work for the school, scholarship opportunities that they have, so maybe some reduction on tuition fee, or one thing or the other. So I advise you to also sort of check those things out. But the best place for you to find it will be online, especially the website of the school you're interested in.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I did.
Cool.
So you actually nailed it. You said the best way that they can get to understand that better is by going on the internet, using Google, and also leveraging the website of the school that they want to go to. So take, for example, if you want to go into the University of Manchester, you can go online, search for the school, and then go to their financial aid section, because they can even have scholarships. There are some universities that also do scholarships internally. And also there are also other scholarships. The one that I know very well, 7 scholarships.
That's exactly. And if you're interested in something like that scholarship that she just talked about, you can reach out to people that have been beneficiaries of that in the past. Some of them organize YouTube sessions. You want to get as much information as you need, right? So that's really the best way to find out which scholarship will work for you, and hopefully you present yourself in a way that you position yourself to grab it. So
also you can even connect with them on LinkedIn too. You can go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like a very good platform that you can utilize as a young professional. Next question: where are opportunities located?
That's a really good question. So I know that for some companies, I know a number of my friends that are in Europe, right? For software developers, you just find a lot of them in Berlin, in Germany. I think there's a big market for them there, honestly. I don't know what is going on in Germany, but every software developer I know is in Germany, most of them. The opportunities here in the UK as well, right? The opportunities even in the US, right? I think that opportunities are everywhere. You just have to see them. In Nigeria, there are opportunities. I know somebody who is she has a coaching company, and from her coaching company, she's making millions of naira. If you convert what she's making in a coaching cycle, if you convert it to pounds, some people are working for years. They are not making that money. You understand what I'm trying to say? So opportunities are located everywhere, but it now depends on your own interest and the sort of opportunities that are available in your field of interest. And that's why we've talked about these things. Ask the right questions. Ask the right questions. You want to work in Google, look for a Nigerian that studied in Nigeria, and is not working in Google. You understand? So ask, does Google have African recruitment initiatives? Right? Those are questions to ask. How did you, what has your career story? Not like, how did you get to Google? If that one, people will be like, why are you asking me? Are you the one that paid my school fees? Ask like, what has your career story been like? What has your career story been like? Can you share with me? And they can now tell you things like, the entire thing. So I would say the opportunities are everywhere. The opportunities are everywhere. You just need to go and look for your opportunity because it's somewhere waiting for you, basically.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Milolua. Another question here is, how do I remain relevant in 6 to 10 years to come in the face of innovations and technological advancements?
Fantastic. How do I remain relevant in 6 or whatever years to come in the face of innovations and technological advancement? So when I was asking one of my MDs, I was asking her this question: that do you think that machines will replace us? She said, Simi, machines aid us. They help us. They can't exactly, hopefully, because when you think of some roles that are now obsolete as a result of technology. But she was telling me that I think 10 years ago or 20 years ago, this was how much we were. But 20 years after, with increased technology, this is how much we are. Literally, the size of people are doubled, even with technological advancement. Because what technological advancement helps you to see is, okay, so you're able to, see even more opportunities, and then you need more people, and then you see more opportunities, and then you need more people, and then you see more opportunities, you need more people, right? What I would just say is one way to stand out is be technically relevant. right? Especially when it comes to being digitally relevant. So you are in HR, learn how, your tech has, made HR more efficient, and be at that cutting edge of technology. If you're in consulting, what are the business intelligence tools? That is how to remain relevant, right? I keep saying it. My mom was a secretary, right? And back in the days, they used to use shorthand to record. When our boss is speaking, they use shorthand to record, and then she goes to type it out. But now, that role basically, because as we are speaking, we are recording this Zoom session. If anybody wants to read, it's a function of bringing it out and typing it, right? So as time goes, you see some roles that can be replaced, but make sure you are not replaceable. Even if your role can be replaced, make sure you as a person, you are irreplaceable, because you have evolved as well, if that makes sense to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Simi. That's really important. Even though your role is being obsolete, ensure that you as a person, you are growing and getting better. Because the more you go and you get better, the more opportunities you can actually harness. Thank you for that, Simi. This other question is more specific to, okay, where can I start as a graduate of SLT biotechnology? But I don't know if you know SLT biotechnology, anything about it.
Science lab technology and then biotechnology. So what's the question again?
Where can I start? What can I start as a graduate of SLT biotechnology? I'm sure you have a science background, right?
Well, yeah, in a way. Yeah, so I would say that it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to go into practicing, or you want to go for further studies? If you want to go for further studies, you want to go into academics, you can decide to do a master's, you can decide to do a local master's if Nigeria, offers that course for your master's, or in any field. Or if you want to go to maybe University of Pretoria in South Africa, or any other university, where you can sort of have a master's, and you can end up deciding that you want a PhD. It's up to you. But if you want to go into the practice of, SLT biotechnology, I think it's up to you, because you understand that field better than I do. So it's good if you have, maybe a sort of specialization, or where you want to start with. Is there a lab in Lagos, somewhere in Nigeria, that is of international standard, where you can sort of get better at, what you have done for your BSc, try to ensure you get in there, and then from there you can chart your course, right? So I would say that really it's up to you to know what your specializations and what your plan is. But I know that you can decide to go into academics. And the good thing is, it doesn't sound like, a common field in Nigeria. And that's an opportunity, when something is not what we have lawyers everywhere in Nigeria. Honestly, we have doctors everywhere in Nigeria, right? But I've really not, biotechnology doesn't sound like something we really do so heavily in Nigeria. So it's an opportunity. I don't want you to see it as maybe a disadvantage. It's an opportunity for you to actually, sort of make yourself the go-to person, make yourself the force in that field, right? By virtue of, you deciding what you want to do and going for it. So that would be what I would say.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. I was even trying to say SLC. In my head, I'm like, okay, all right. But thank God you have the science background. Okay, so the next question, but you sort of answered it, in a way. How to really know and discover an opportunity that will help me in my career. So that's the next question. And I think there's another question like this. But then the second part to it is who can also guide me. So that'll be our last question.
Yeah. So let's start by, how do you know an opportunity that will help you? I think that if you have positioned yourself, you have a resolute idea, you're asking the right questions, you're investing in relationships, you'll be more aware of what is happening in your life. You'll be more aware to opportunities. I won't be the one to now say that this is how you know an opportunity. It knocks. After it knocks, it keeps quiet. It knocks again. After it knocks, no. You will know that, this is a seat. This is an open seat. This is an open opportunity, right? How do I take advantage of that? You understand? You will be aware that, I want to do a master's. This firm can sponsor my master's. I want to go to Switzerland. If I go to this role, people in this role travel. So I'll be able to travel to the branch of my firm in Switzerland. Right. So when you open your eyes to these secrets and you ensure that, you have these things we've talked about, it makes you more aware. When you become responsible for the outcomes in your life and you begin to become an active participant in your life, you will know, right? So that is how you will know that this opportunity is for you, because it's something that you have worked hard for. It's something you're looking forward to. It's something your heart is expanding to grasp. It's something that your capacity is enlarging to take advantage of. That's number one. And then to the question that followed it, how do I get guidance, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can do that through mentors and coaches, right? I always, advise people to get mentors and coaches, people that are genuinely interested in your growth. They don't have to be in your field. Just somebody that you can say, Funke, this thing, there's this role in my place of work that has become open, right? I don't know if I should go for it. Should I speak to my manager that I'm willing to go into this, things like that. So, and these things will begin to happen if and only if, you have people you can talk to. So get yourself a mentor or a coach, somebody who is genuinely interested in you. But in the event that you don't have one, just pray for one. God will bring one your way, right? And when God brings one your way, make sure you invest. It is your responsibility to nurture the relationship, right? It's your responsibility to remember people's birthdays. It's your responsibility to... The other day, I just sent a surprise flower, natural flowers to my mentor and chocolate. She still called me yesterday night. Simi, you won't know she's my mentor. Simi, oh my God, you look so good. How are you? You understand what I'm trying to say? I've nurtured that relationship. In fact, today I have to call her again. I've nurtured the relationship. So make sure you're a good relationship nurturer, and that way you're able to get guidance. But now there are some other platforms. Career Guide, for example, is a way for you to get the guidance you need. And Funke is doing an amazing work for entry-level professionals. So it's something that, you can reach out to Funke to say, Funke, I would like you to be my mentor. Funke, I would like you to be my coach, right? And you invest. Don't just be a receiver from Funke. Funke has birthdays. Funke celebrates Christmas, right? Funke has account number. Honestly, and she's not asking me to do this now. It's not like I'm raising, anything. What I'm saying, but honestly, you can say, Funke, just Merry Christmas. I may not be able to send you a cake. I may not be able to do this, but just a token to show how much I really appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. Funke will probably say, don't worry, you don't need to do that. Is it because Simi said it? No, Simi, and things like that. But you have nurtured that relationship. You've invested in that relationship. Come February, if you have a problem at work, or you need guidance, you're thinking, should I leave my job that is paying me well for a master's abroad? And you're not sure exactly what decision to make, you can call Funke. And Funke won't see it as you're a needy person who has just all of a sudden. She will never think that anyway. But I'm just saying that you're not coming from the blues to come and be asking a question. You understand? You have shown, interest. You have shown that the relationship is important to you. So you're able to, invest in it and then, leverage on it. So that's what I would say about guidance.
Thank you so much, Lulu. There is another question that someone just took from me on WhatsApp. So let's just quickly take the last question.
Okay, that's
fine. How can you leverage your social media presence in the pursuit of international opportunities? And I think this comes really handy in this our generation, because I can remember there was an application I applied for 3 years ago, and before I knew it, I'm just in different white people checking my profiles, and I'm like, thank God I have good content on my social media. Even though probably my social media would have just ruined everything. So I'm trusting you with talk more about that.
Yeah, so I'll talk about it in 3 ways. The first way is from your content point of view, the content you are putting out, right? Some people, the content they are putting out it really depicts that they are controversial people, angry people. If they were part of the Heartbreak series, pained people, and these companies do background checks. Oh, they do background checks. They go and check you on social media. In fact, we have an entire division that is dedicated to ensuring that you are doing the right things. Honestly,
wow.
People are employed to keep watch on other people to ensure that other people are doing the right. Yes, because if you go and do the wrong thing, you can put the company in trouble. You understand? Yeah. Exactly. So ensure that you are representing yourself properly on your social media, right? Your social media is talking about what you want people to think of you, right? That's going to be the first thing from a content point of view. Number two, I'll talk about social media from an avenue to be aware of opportunities. I just saw on somebody's status, for example, that Rain Oil is recruiting and a number of organizations. This is job season. Oh, is my phone here? Oh, my phone is not here. I was going to read it for you, or let me see if I can just quickly, so that in case anybody here is interested in any of these opportunities. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring it up. But if I can't bring it up, I'll just ask, probably send it to Funke, and then Funke will play it, will share it on your general page. Okay, let me just continue. So she just put, okay, I think it's here now. So let me look at it quickly. And what's her name? It's Moyin status. So let me just, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to Funke, and she's going to share it so that I won't take so much time trying to look for it. But when she's yeah, I've seen it, guys. So sorry, she's taking it off. Very funny. Anyway, so I'll just send it to Funke, and then she'll share with you. So this is job season. Rain Oil, like 5 or 6 companies are recruiting, right? So social media is an opportunity for you to be made aware of the opportunities that exist, and that is really good. So you want to do that as well. And then thirdly is that you can also, employers can also search for you on social media, and that's the one Funke was talking about. So one is the content perspective, the second is you being aware of opportunities through social media, and then the third is your employers searching you out on social media. There's this, this lady, Aramide, that raised money to go to Harvard. I saw in one of her statuses, and I think one of the ways by which people, if you go to her Instagram, you see Aramide with primary schools to children. Exactly. So it was obvious that she had interest in education, right? So people were able to support her cause that way. But imagine Aramide had that interest, doing a fabulous job, but everything she just posts is about, if a guy snubs you, snub him back. And then tomorrow she's posting, I snubbed the snub for the snub to be snubbed. And then the following day, you understand what I'm trying to say? That's not consistent with who she really is or where she wants to get to. So use social media as a branding tool. Yeah, let it be the tool for how you want to be perceived, right? That's the way to see it. Don't see social media as just an avenue for enjoyment and pinging people. See it as an opportunity for you to also build a brand on social media. So that's what I would say.
Wow, thank you so much, Simi. That was fantastic. And one thing I'm just going to add to what Simi just said is you can follow companies on LinkedIn. So for young professionals, I used to say that your best social media platform should be LinkedIn and maybe Instagram. But when you're posting on Instagram, it should be more targeted to what you want to build, like what brand do you want people to see, when they check your page. So you can follow companies on LinkedIn. That would, help you you get notifications when you have openings, when you follow them. And also you can get referrals from people. There's a way on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn has to be like your small CV. Let me tell you what happens in my company. In my company, when someone applies for a job, they see your CV, really nice, really okay. The next thing the operations manager is going to do is go and search out on LinkedIn. Wow. Check your profile. Are you who you are on your CV? Because the social media should be a reflection of who you are. Check through your LinkedIn. Who are the people you're following? How many years of experience do you have? How many people have actually recommended you for the particular skills that you claim to have? How many people have referred you? And all those kind of things. So your LinkedIn should be like your small resume and try to connect with people intentionally. Even if it's just a comment. There was just one comment that I mentioned on someone's LinkedIn profile. And I just saw people checking my profile and I'm like, oh my God, I can be this good. So just a comment can actually take you to where you did not even plan to get to when you deliberately decide to engage with people on social media. Thank you so much, Simi. It was nice having you around. Like, I'm super
really
excited.
Enjoyed myself.
Thank you so much. So is there anything you would like to say before round up?
I would just like to say that please just, keep giving your best. Keep being a very active participant in your life. Again, I love what Funke is doing with Career Guild. I believe that this is going to be the first of many more, sessions she's going to put together. You want to be the one that would come, with your jotter, with your pen to jot things down, right? You want to be the one who, gets a mentor. You want to be the one who you are just taking an active position in your life. You are reaching out for international opportunities. You have a resolute desire, you are asking the right questions, and you are building in relationships, right? Please be that person. Someone once told me that the value of knowledge is in its application. We have not just said the things we have said here today for you to feel empowered alone. No, don't just let it stop at feeling empowered. Let it move to doing what you have been empowered to do. The value of knowledge is in its application. And with that, I would say thank you for having me. It was really good spending time with you.
Thank you so much. To me, it was nice having you too. There's something that someone I look up to used to say, that's DDK. She would say you need to move from talk and talk to talk and do. When you hear something, take deliberate action and just start slicing it and getting everything you need to get done. So thank you so much for joining us. And also, like I said, Simi has a platform called the Employable Graduate. Yeah, the Employable Graduate. You can always check that out also on the internet. You can sign up to take courses on the platform, very insightful courses. I've also taken some courses also on the platform. So you can just search for the Employable Graduate.
Yeah, you can go to employablegraduate.org. O-R-G. So
I actually, I went to some of the courses and I'm like, oh, Simi, just giving it to us left, right, and center. And I think you should also check that out. Very important. And then also this session will be uploaded on our platform. You can also tell your friends who are unable to join the session, probably due to data, network issues, to not be able to download Zoom because of different things can actually cause them, for not joining the session. We'll also upload the session on our website, careerguild.com.ng. Yeah, so you can always check it out. So it was nice having you, Similoluwa. And then many more to come, actually, many more to come.
Thank you. I'll take my leave now. Thank you and bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Simi. Bye. All right. Thank you, everyone, for making it today with us. The usual saying is that there's no success in I, but in we. And I want to make a shout out to my team members, Career Guild. You guys are doing wonderfully well. Thank you for supporting me in this course. And of course, do also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Career Guild. You can always follow us. And then, of course, you can check out our website, www.careerguild.com.ng. We have some insightful content for you there. So there's something to talk about, interviews, your CVs. You can get our content on employability nuggets. We did a session in August. So you can do well to check that on the website also. We are here to make you ace your career path and, land the dream job that you ever want to get. Thank you for joining us once again. Do have a nice evening. Bye.
I know I can count on. Stand up for the champion, for the champion. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champion, for the champion. Stand up for the champion, for the champion. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champion, for the champion. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just like that's how it is. Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me to stand up. I'm on the champion.